Yep. There we go.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, here we go, everybody. It's the Gas Bags on ESPN Louisville Plus. Shout out to our man Justin Soforo for helping put this together.
Yep.
I'm Nick Valvano. He is
Jason Jenkins.
And Janky, where are we coming to?
This is Seven Spirits. This is actually the liquor store / tasting bar in Norton Commons.
Yeah, there's a great bar over there. They have the UNC Notre
I hear
Dame game.
Steve Roach comes here from time to time.
I've heard that. I've heard that this might be a frequent spot for one. Romage, who's enjoying the lovely weather down in Florida, got out just in time before the snow hit. Before we get into sports,
Yeah.
how are you in the snow? Because you served in the military, but I don't think you served in any cold stuff, right? You were mostly in the desert.
Well, so
Like in Africa, right?
So Africa and Iraq.
Yeah.
Here's the tricky part about what people don't tell you about the desert is in Iraq specifically, you can have a 120-degree day followed by a 70-degree night, and any 50-degree swing is miserable.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I'm telling you that people, when given the opportunity, I mean, everybody puts on all their cold weather gear, and they're riding around in that. Any break that you get, you're over by a fire barrel. And I swear to God, it's 70 degrees outside, and you're like, I'm freezing to death because it was just 120 in the day. And
Yeah, right.
all day.
Yeah, so you're all wet and like, now it's chill.
I mean, it's miserable. The desert's the worst.
But in the snow.
Yeah.
Like, how are you in the snow?
So I used to do this thing where I would go to the Farmer's Almanac and I would get what was supposed to be the coldest day of the year.
Right.
Like they have an approximation for some of these things. And I would find the coldest day of the year, supposedly, and I would sleep outside.
Really?
And it would be like in like a pup tent, and it would be like with like minimal stuff. And that was just like to try to make sure that I was going to be good for all. And like in cold weather, I wear shorts all the time.
Your shorts in cold. All right.
It's got to be.
Biscuit is too, and sometimes I am as well.
But
I run hot. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
My kids all know that if you see me put on pants, it's cold outside. 100%, it's cold outside.
Well, it is chilly. So, how nervous are you about the snow coming this weekend? I'm not either. Of course, I work right next to the station. The only thing I'm worried about is, obviously, I got my boy Steve in Florida. I got Pops, the U of L team traveling. I want them to be safe and everything.
Pops has got that Nissan. That Nissan's all-wheel drive.
Yeah, and but he's going to be calling the UNC game this weekend.
Oh, okay.
So he's going to be down there, and he's like, well, instead of having to deal with the snow and traveling back and forth, I'll just rent a car and drive from there to Durham. And then we were bowling yesterday, and Biscuit was like, you do realize North Carolina's going to get hit with about 14 inches of snow.
Right.
And so, Pops was like, shit.
It has swung a little bit, right? Like we're getting a little bit more. It looks like we're in more trouble than they are now.
Right.
And at one point, it looked like the South was going to get it worse.
Oh, they were going to get hammered.
So,
but it's just some good stuff here. By the way, we are enjoying
these old fashions.
Yeah, cheers, buddy.
The bartender out here from between Tuesday and Friday, her name's Kelly, and it's the best old fashioned that I've ever had.
It's this is really good. This is really good. Last week when we got done, I came in here and bought a bottle of bourbon from Pikeville.
Okay.
And she was telling me about it, and we talked shop a little bit.
Okay.
Like I don't
little bartender stories.
Yeah, right. But I don't know enough. I know just enough to be an idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but like we chopped it up a little bit.
That's the way I live most of my life. Just
enough to say something really stupid.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how we roll.
Yeah, that's absolutely how we roll on the Gas Bags. Best way to be part of the show is to comment on the YouTube stream and also comment on Twitter. I'm at Nikki Vespin, at ESPN 680. Tanner not joining us today. We weren't able to air yesterday because we were all pre-bowling because of travel and everything like that.
Family free bowl.
A little family free, a little family free bowl. It was fun. At least I was in triple digits this week, so that was good. Yeah, baby steps. But a lot of stuff we want to get to tonight, and we only have a short amount of time to do it because we do not want to run into the UK post-game show, which will be on ESPN 680.
Well,
as soon as that one goes final with TJ.
Running into it. Justin is, which, out of respect for Justin, now it's our concern.
Yeah, right. So, we're trying not to do any counter-programming everything like that. Because, TJ, Zachy C, they're probably going to have some good gems, some good sound bites.
And I'm interested. I want to they're not playing the game here yet, but I'm going to get her to switch it over to it. And I want to get some information out of this game. They played a great game against Tennessee.
Oh, absolutely.
Me and Sofro talked about it, and it was being pseudo-physical with Tennessee really took them out of their game because they weren't able to just bully the bejesus out of the team.
And I think I've not watched enough Tennessee basketball, but I have this sneaking suspicion that their 6 losses all come from people that decided to bully back.
Yeah, right. And Louisville, unfortunately, was not one of them.
We did not.
Was not one of them, yes.
We didn't choose to bully. We were just shoveling over our lunch money. As much lunch money here. Listen, my mom gave me an extra $4 for chips later. Here, have that too. So.
Well, we'll get into the basketball a little bit, but
the football
is the
biggest story.
Right? We got to talk a little bit about IU. Something that Andy and I didn't get to today on the take, and check out the take on the podcast center, ESPNLouisville.com. Had some really good Indiana discussion. But one thing that we didn't get to was, and I was trying to describe this Monday when I was watching the game with Jeanette. Okay. Jeanette doesn't really follow college football at all. Right. She likes...
She's a Kentucky fan. Why would she?
Well, yeah, but she's like I even brought that up about UK football. She's like, I don't care about UK football at all. I'm a UK basketball fan.
Right.
And she was like, I care more about the Cards in football than UK. And she's casual. She's not like saying she's diehard or anything like that. Right. But I was trying to describe what the significance of this IU run was, what it meant for college football. And I was trying to come up with, and we were going to get into this on the take today, what's an equivalent or a college basketball equivalent of what IU and Cignetti were able to do in winning the national championship and going 16-0 and doing so. And I couldn't really think of anything.
So they won a national championship, and they are still the worst team in Power 4 football. Like they're still historically, right?
Right.
They still have the worst college football record, and they have a national championship. Like it's a wild way to think about what they've done and how they've turned that around. As far as teams that have done that, like to that scale's pretty. I mean, that's a hard hump to come over. But Texas Western beating Kentucky.
I mean, maybe. Yeah. I mean, that's not a bad one.
But it's a little bit more meaningful in other ways.
The racial component and everything, right?
But they were also not necessarily like a powerhouse university with basketball then, which now they're Texas El Paso, I believe.
Yeah,
I believe that's Texas El Paso.
Right.
So,
but they kind of go on a.
That's so long ago that I mean Dan Issel knows it.
Right, but
he was a child.
There's underdog stories, but this wasn't an underdog story in the sense they were the best team throughout the whole year. I see what you're saying, but that's why it makes it a tough comparison.
Yeah.
Great underdog stories: Texas Western, Uncle Jim, the '83 Wolfpack,
Yep.
Cardiac Pack. Yeah, sure. I mean, there's been so many great underdog stories. 1980 Olympic team and ice hockey.
You do love
hockey.
But
I do love hockey. I'm wearing the hockey jersey right now. But
game worn.
For
it's fresh with Valvano sweat.
It's crazy that I forgot what the line was going into that game.
I think it was 6.5 or 8.5 or something like that.
I'm saying IU were the. It's such a rebuild for 2 years with Cignetti.
I forget exactly what the stat is, but they only had. No team has won a national championship with less than 24 stars on their team.
Yeah,
and I think Indiana only had 6 or 8 or so. It was a super low number. I know I've heard it a bunch of times. Unbelievably low number, right? And they still go out there and do that. Now, senior laden group, right? Tons of seniors. You won't see a bunch of that team back next year. Indiana did a just fine job in the portal, right? Yeah. They did just fine. I don't love their quarterback. I'm glad that we didn't get him and pay that for him. So there's a big step.
Wait,
there.
You're talking about Mendoza or you're talking about Hoover?
No, I'm talking about Hoover.
Oh, okay, all right.
Mendoza's a tricky one because I don't know. He's a really good quarterback in that system.
Yeah.
You didn't see him get under center a lot. I don't know that Mendoza is capable of doing that season in what Jeff would have asked him to do.
Maybe.
Jeff doesn't expect you to just run the offense that he thinks. I don't want to call it a gimmick. I don't, because it won a national championship.
But Mendoza,
it almost is.
Mendoza, though, had, like, I know this is such a generic sports take.
He's a smart kid and makes great decisions.
We talked about it today, or this week on the take. We got kind of romantic about it. Like, that play, the fourth down call where he runs it in 12 yards out, is, I mean, it's already going to be on the Sports Illustrated commemorative cover. I mean, that's a moment. This guy,
do you know the guy that the last guy that tried to tackle him before he gets in is it Byzantine?
Mm-hmm.
So last year, there's a play that they've got running around where Byzantine crushes him as he starts to scramble, just like obliterates him.
Well, I mean,
and then they juxtapose it to this year, where now Mendoza gets them, and Mendoza hits him pretty square. Like, it's a pretty square, tough hit.
Yeah,
and he just gets through.
Well, I mean, Mendoza to me, I certainly think obviously the Heisman winner. I'm not.
Right.
This isn't a hot take. I mean, a great football player, but he had that throughout the season. He had that clutch gene. I mean, the Penn State throw where Gus Johnson loses his mind.
Yep.
Like, there were moments like that. The plays throughout the college football playoff. Yep. I mean, that run, obviously.
He's a smart kid that makes good decisions. And what he lacks in arm strength, he's got a better arm than Miller Moss did as far as just legitimate arm strength. However, whatever he lacks in arm strength compared to other people, he makes up for in his accuracy.
Yeah.
Back shoulder throws. Okay. So I don't know if there's some trick or thing that Cignetti has understood or seen about the inability for collegiate level defensive backs to defend back shoulder throws. They wore every team out with that.
I'm trying to think of
every team. Now, that's a good throw to have at the next level. That's being able to be accurate with that. He's got to be able to do more. He showed some of it, but he's got to be able to do all of it consistently, right? I think he's going to be a fine NFL quarterback. Again, smart kid who has accuracy. Whatever he makes up, whatever he loses in actual pure arm strength, he will make up for it.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's a great example. I'm not saying he's Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a great example. Well, the same kind of the archetype of who he is as a person.
Well, I kind of like that comparison. Also, he had the clutch gene, and I was really struck by it. Miami was beating the shit out of him. And I mean, to Miami's everlasting credit, they proved to everybody that they belonged in the college football playoff. They very well could have won that game.
Maybe we did too. I'm just saying. I'm not.
Well, transitive property. Well, transitive property, deserve to be in SMU if we do that. Like, But,
I'm not joking. I agree. I will rally for the idea that the ACC was a better football conference than everyone gave it credit for, and we proved it by what Miami did.
I don't know, because we can get to that a little bit later.
It's a murderer's row.
The East. I was gonna say, you almost said that with a straight face. Yeah, you did. We'll get to that a little bit later about the Miami component and the ACC and everything. But going back to IU, I can't think of a comparison of what it is for a rebuild of the all-time losingest program. So now all of a sudden,
I just don't think there is one. It just doesn't exist. Maybe we'll see something crazy like that in basketball. I can go back and look at some, and they weren't the all-time losingest, but they were like improbable runs of teams that were good, like Texas Tech in 19 against Virginia, right?
Okay.
Where they make it to the national championship game. They don't win.
Right.
That's Chris Beard.
Yeah.
Right. Chris Beard prior to Texas, all the bullshit in the move to Ole Miss.
Right.
So that Texas Tech team was great all year long. Even with Tubby, they were irrelevant.
Right.
And I really do. I think Tubby is a good coach, borderline great. not Hall of Fame level, like greatest ever type stuff. But, you know, he's top 100 coach. He's got a national championship.
Yeah, really good guy. Yeah,
I don't care who recruited the players. Somebody had to coach that team.
Yeah, right.
Guy's got a national championship. Not everybody does.
Right.
And they don't grow on trees. So
I think also what makes the comparison so hard is there isn't really a sport like college football.
There's not. Yeah.
And I want to get to something that we talked about on the take today, about this paradigm shift that might be happening in college football. Gas Bags Podcast, ESPN Louisville Plus. Like, share, and subscribe. Jason Jenkins, Nick Valvano, coming to you from, what is the place called?
Seven Spirits.
Seven Spirits. I didn't want to mess it up. We are enjoying some great old fashions here.
Absolutely.
And, we enjoy you guys spending some time with us before maybe you go watch some basketball tonight or tune into the UK post-game show. But
so the big thing, right, is if Indiana can do it,
well, and this is what I want to.
Who else can? Can we?
This is what I want to get to, and this is what the clickbait title, if you will,
absolutely,
was all about. But I think it's really hard to come up with a comparison about what IU has done, because college football is a very weird sport. Of the top 6 sports in America, and I mean, obviously the big 4 in the pros, and if you don't want to consider hockey, okay, fine, we can fight about it, but whatever. But I'm saying, like, the biggest sports in American culture are obviously MLB, NHL, NFL. The NFL's the biggest, NBA, college football, college basketball. College football is weird in the sense that it's this good old boys club.
Right.
And none of the other ones
are the Blue Bloods, and they're the Blue Bloods forever.
Right. And I mean, there's narratives in place, and it's one of those things you can spend all your time yelling and screaming about it. And I agree with you. I think a lot of it's bullshit, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying it is what it is. In the NFL, it's any given Sunday. Like the margin of error is razor thin.
It's the most paradoxical of all the sports. There are more teams that are in the playoffs one year and not the next than any other sport.
Right.
Only you get laden with like one team, like whether it's the Patriots, go Pats, Super Bowl this year. Just saying.
We'll see.
And then
I don't hate that big.
Or the Chiefs, or like the Cowboys at one point. You're welcome, Steve Roberts. But all of those teams, like, those were the consistent ones. The rest of the field was not.
Right.
So, like, you might get a dynasty, a group that continues to produce. The rest of the field changes constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
like, it literally is the most rotation of all of them.
But I feel like in the NFL, there's dynasties and everything like that. But everybody gets a chance. There's no narratives going into the season that, hey, we're predicting before a snap is played, these teams are really good and they're going to play themselves out, as opposed to a team playing themselves in.
College is the only place that happens where, like, the ranking somehow, the ranking, the one that we just got for 14 and 16.
Right.
The one that we just got for 14 and 16 will have an effect on next November.
Yeah. Right.
Because we're going in with an expectation, and if we can just hold serve long enough, you can lose one, but you can hold serve long enough, that expectation will put you in the conversation.
Right.
And it's more so than basketball, because you get 68 teams, right? We're still at 68. We've not gone up. We've not gone up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah. Wait a minute, I had to think about it. Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah.
But they've not actually made the decision yet. You get 68 teams. So, like, the rankings are important for us, but they're not important for the selection committee. And the performance of the team, like your KenPom ranking and your net ranking, are going to matter more throughout the year, which isn't necessarily developed. It's not even until, like, the third or fourth game that you get that.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah. But with college football, I mean, they say that the first rankings that really matter are the college football playoff rankings that come out.
But they're not.
But at the same time, you have to combat narratives that are written in the off season, during portal season, during the off season, and everything like that. And then you have to Like, I mean, that was one of the frustrations with U of L not being ranked coming into the year.
Right.
And if you want to get mad at college football, and I know
I think we're going to be this year because last year
I would agree.
We weren't in the way too early. No one talked about it.
No, I would agree with that.
And you know who did that for us? Miami.
Well, yeah, no, I think that's fair.
Miami did that for us because it made the ACC, the teams that are actually good in the ACC. I'm not talking about Boston College, right?
Right.
I'm not talking about Syracuse. The teams that are good in the ACC, they benefited from what has happened. And it's not confusing on how that happened. Like, Miami proved the rest of the league was powerful.
I don't know about the rest of the league, but I feel like maybe it helped.
If we beat Miami, if SMU beat Miami, but somehow we both lost to Cal, right? That Cal team has value.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Right?
What, the rising tide lifts all boats type thing?
It may not be. It's not Alabama, right? But Cal also at that point isn't Coastal Carolina this year.
Right.
Right.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Like, there's like a trickle down effect.
Right.
That Miami's run helped elevate certain teams in the conference and hoisted it up a little bit.
It mattered in the bowl games where we were simply pretty effective as a conference inside of the bowl games.
Okay, I agree with that, but the narratives that get peddled around with college football,
right,
and why it frustrates me is I'm having flashbacks to the Sugar Bowl with Teddy.
Yep.
What were the narratives that came out of that game? It wasn't like
we didn't belong there.
It wasn't holy shit that Teddy Bridgewater and Charlie Strong have a hell of a squad.
Yep.
It was what? Florida wasn't ready to play. They were ready to excuse it away. So
they didn't even want to be there. They weren't playing for the national championship.
Right.
Matter, right.
And if you're not excited to play in a fucking BCS bowl, then it was.
But that's the reality of it, right?
But that was, to me, one of those really humbling experiences where it was just like, Jesus, like, what can we do? Like, you win a BCS bowl. You told us that, because this was before college football playoff expansion, you've told us that these bowls matter more.
Right.
And we just won one of them. Quite honestly, Louisville kicked Florida's ass in that game. And in the opening play, they killed Teddy Bridgewater. It looked like they were ready to play.
Yep.
And
they wanted. For everybody that said they didn't want that game, that first play is the argument against it.
Exactly. And
they were there to put him in the ground.
then Louisville wins.
Yep.
And the narrative that, and I love Herbie. I there's a lot of ESPN.
I agree.
Or like personalities I respect and like, but they took the ball of the SEC and the Blue Bloods and ran with it and explained away that victory. And it was one of those things where I was like, damn, there's really not much you can do to get on these people's radar.
If Indiana had lost 2 games this year and somehow been the number 10 team that did what they did in the playoffs and made it all the way through and ended up winning, they would find a way to explain that away too.
Mm-hmm.
It's because people hold the Blue Bloods, the premier brands, so tightly.
And that's why college...
Unfairly.
No, I mean,
I think Drew has said this several times. You have to take whatever the name brand is that you think you're looking at
and throw it out of the window, because teams that you thought were competitive before won't be, because the NIL balance, because of that and the transfer portal. You just can't combat some of that stuff.
Well, this is one of those things.
The NIL is not going to the version we're in, the Shangri-La or this black tar heroin section that we're in right now with the NCAA and the NIL. It's not going to last forever. Like Drew said it before too. It's got a finite amount of time. You probably got 6 years before somebody figures out how to wrangle this stuff in.
There's something we can get to that, but that's a good segue where
great summer topic.
Because we kind of touched on that on Middays with Marcus Bateman. Check it out, Podcast Center, ESPN Louisville Plus, or ESPNLouisville.com, SoundCloud, iTunes. With Rummage out today, Maven kind of brought up the question of what can be done to kind of fix this NIL Wild West era and everything like that, which was pretty good. But I'm trying to pull up the rankings this is something that we got into today on The Take. This idea of this paradigm shift that Drew talked about, that I feel like is a very popular narrative, because suddenly somebody that wasn't at the cool kids table, Indiana, not just made the college football playoff last year, wins it this year, goes undefeated. They've solidified themselves as, hey, we're here. And I would like to think that, and there's, we can talk about the Cignetti effect and everything like that, but I don't feel like it's a flash in the pan. I don't feel like this is some sort of Cinderella story that they just went on a tremendous run and like this is a flash in the pan. I feel like Indiana's here to stay.
Yeah.
So is there a paradigm shift? Andy brought up this point today. If you look at these preseason polls, these way too earlys and everything like that, and we just said that narratives are still starting to be written in these rankings.
Right.
Is it asinine because we haven't played a snap yet? Sure, maybe a little bit.
100%.
But at the same time, that's the game. It's the game is the game, as they say in The Wire. Indeed. And so it helps, it behooves you to already be on radars before you play a snap. And so then you can do what college football does and play yourself out as opposed to play yourself in.
Right.
But if you look at these preseason rankings, it's kind of the same old, with the exception of Indiana and Texas Tech.
Right.
So is there truly a paradigm shift, or is it just one of those things? And I brought this up to Andy. I feel like maybe Indiana and Texas Tech have come in and they've replaced a Clemson,
right,
or Florida State. And I mean, Florida State is struggling right now. Clemson,
and I've read some of the boards about they're frustrated with their NIL collective. Not that it's not enough, but how it's distributed and stuff like that. I was looking for wealthy donors, like a wealthy donors list. Actually, surprisingly enough, we're ahead of Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And donations that we receive in some way or another. Ours is heavily corporate driven. Kentucky has some more invested alumni than we do, but they don't have the corporate access the way that we do. It's one of those weird things where just the locality of us matters. But Florida State, I think they had like an $18 million collective.
Okay.
And they were just upset in how it was distributed and the result that they got out of it, which was nothing, right? I mean, it looked like they were gangbusters when they beat Alabama. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I drank the Kool-Aid. I feel like
the split there. I do not know what
a lot of the people in the ACC. I mean, there was a lot of pro ACC rhetoric week one. It's like, we're back. Florida State's
Miami beats Notre Dame.
Miami beats Notre Dame. Florida State beats Alabama. Like, hey, we think the Cards are going to be good. Hey, we think we got Bill Belichick. We UNC. Like, I mean, it was one of those things. Like, but I'm on ESPN right now. They're way too early, top 25. Again, way too early. But you got to give a little credence to these things because it is college football.
There's some predictive stuff with the transfer portal.
Right.
There's some predictive stuff. I think every bit of it lays heavily on coaching.
Indiana, national champion. Okay.
Can't put them not one.
Right.
Somebody's got to prove it.
Texas Longhorns, number 2. Blue blood.
Yep, blue blood.
Notre Dame, blue blood.
I'm interested. Texas is funny to me because they lost more than I think they. I need to look at that again, but God, I feel like they lost more than they gained. I'm not sure.
But just strictly blue blood or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Georgia, blue blood. Okay. Ohio State, number 6. Blue blood, obviously. Yep. Texas Tech, one of the other new kids to the block.
I'm going to tell you that might be to me, Texas Tech is one of the scariest ones.
Right. And hold that thought because I want to get to that in a second. Miami, blue blood.
Yep.
Ole Miss.
I'm not going to call them a blue blood. They've been competitive before, not consistently.
Texas A&M.
Again, they've got a great name.
Right.
But what have they done? What have they done since Bear Bryant?
Yeah, but it's just because they're in the SEC. Maybe it's just
they were
because.
The Big 12 before.
Yeah, I know, but they've been in the SEC, and there's the SEC bias. I don't know. I would say they're not necessarily a blue blood, but they're pretty close. BYU. Wouldn't say they're a blue blood, but everybody knows how much they're spending in NIL.
Right.
Those Mormons are
for
spending.
what you think Notre Dame is. BYU is an equal to Notre Dame as far as the way it sits in the society of said religion that is most associated with it.
Yeah. Okay.
So
if Notre Dame's the Catholics, but BYU is the Mormons.
Now there's more Catholics than there are Mormons.
But there's a crap load of Mormons out there.
But there's a crap load of Mormons out there.
Oklahoma, blue blood. USC, blue blood.
When's Jack gonna really get some out to cheer for?
What?
When's the rise of the next Jewish?
Yeah, Jewish powerhouse school. I don't know. I think we might be waiting a little while for that.
Maybe.
The Cards, 14, great. LSU, blue blood, 15. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but you get my point.
It's still heavily laden with blue bloods. I agree.
And so I don't know. And the newcomers that are at the table, the IUs, the Texas Techs, the BYUs, are all very much at the forefront of NIL.
I agree.
So I don't know if
for all of them except for IU, because I can't disparage a coach that just won a national championship.
Right.
We are at least equal, if not better, in the coaching realm than the other two teams. So Texas Tech and BYU, I believe we're better. I believe we're coached better.
Okay. Okay. And this is where something else I wanted to get into. This idea that there's a paradigm shift, I don't know. I think obviously it's NIL influence, but it's also Cignetti.
Yeah.
Like, Cignetti could just be that guy.
He could be one of one. Right?
I mean, he coached a team that, looking at paper, wasn't the most talented.
Shouldn't have been there.
I mean, are there NFL players on the team? Absolutely. Yeah. You have a Heisman winner. Let's not glance past that. You had a Heisman winner at quarterback. Yep. I mean, you have a handful of guys on the line that are NFL players.
Right.
D'Angelo Pons in the secondary, probably.
Yep.
I mean, they're skilled players.
You've got some NFL quality receivers. Those guys have good hands. They'll find a spot. They're not none of them are number one guys. They're not Jamar Chase, or Justin Jefferson,
right?
Or any of those guys.
But they had it at LSU, right?
They're all going to be. They're all going to be NFL quality receivers. They're good enough for that.
I feel like there's going to be some guys on that roster playing on Sundays, but that's also a team that committed fumbles in one game. It's also a team that was meticulous when it came to penalties, and it may
have been the least penalized team. That was definitely the least penalized team that was in the playoffs.
I mean, I kind of
was the most actually.
Right. That's a good point. I kind of wanted to get into this, like how often has the new up and coming coach, the hot name, the Scott Frost, the Mike Norvell, the Billy Knaps, how often have they fizzled out?
Almost always. And
Sig might just be the second coming of Saban. I'm not saying he is, but in 2 years, the dude is killing it.
No, you're right.
And so how much of it is NIL? How much of it is coaching? And not every team is going to have that NIL
to win
or that coaching.
I think you have to have a solid blend.
Right. So is there really a paradigm shift, or did IU just find the secret formula? Like that's the question, and I don't know the answer, right. But I would lean more towards the idea that
they have the secret formula. That's me.
And that not everybody. It's not. We're not going to see randomly pick a school. Minnesota isn't going to be the new up and comer.
And I think some of the teams that we're talking about that have huge NIL budgets. We'll go Vandy. We'll go Georgia. We'll go Georgia Tech. We'll go Texas Tech. We'll go BYU. Right. We'll lump them into a group. I think their downfall is coaching. Not that they don't have good coaches, but they have coaches. They have McDermott's.
Good coaches, not
good coaches that'll get you to the right spot, but might not ever pull off the actual. Won't ever get to the actual end. They'll never walk away as a win at the last game of the season.
I mean, statistically, yeah, I'd say there's way less Cignettis out there than there.
I think that, and they have great resources, and they might find the right guy eventually. Right now, that's what's holding them back.
Right.
Because I think I wholeheartedly believe that some of the most powerful schools are those, Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, as far as the ability to create coffers of money.
Right.
However, that doesn't mean they're going to get the other part of the formula right. Because you have to be able to pick good players. You saw it this year. There's a lot of people really upset with Miller Moss. Mm-hmm. I'm not specifically upset with Miller Moss. I'm upset with how we used Miller Moss a little more than anything. And to some degree, I'm kind of happy that our senior offensive analyst is now the passing game coordinator of Kentucky. Thank you.
I want to.
Because the next thing I'm thinking about is that somebody who's going to be an offensive analyst and on our team is a name that we offensively trust. It's Paul Petrino.
Yeah, it's true. It'd be interesting to see.
Like if you just give him that job and then tight ends, right? Because that's what he's got, tight ends.
Yeah.
So, but if you give him the job to really give data going forward to the group that's going to decide how the offense is going to run, I don't know that there's better data crunchers than him and his brother. Clearly somebody that I use pretty good at it too.
Yeah, right.
But, like, those guys are, when they were here and they were here together, we were borderline elite.
Well, that kind of leads into
right on the edge.
This kind of leads to the question that we had as the clickbait title. Shout out Justin Sofro for getting that done for us. Who do we think, if, and I'm not convinced it is, if there is a paradigm shift in college football, if Indiana has opened up the why not us discussion, who do we think is more likely to do it first? Did you see, by the way, ChatGPT predicted the next 50 college football playoff championships?
Yeah, I did. I haven't seen that yet.
U of L wins, I think, in 2060. Okay. And UK wins in like 2071.
That puts me at 78 years old for the Louisville win.
Right. So
I don't think I'm gonna get there. I have no plan past 50. I'm gonna be honest with you. Day one of my 50th year, I'm out on everything. I got nothing.
At that point, it's all found money.
We're just literally it's craps. What happened here? I don't know. Let's give it a shot. Okay, I got no plan, man.
Now, of course, in AI predicting, but it was interesting. In the next 50 years, it had both the Cards and the Cats winning. I think there's pros and cons to both, and we dipped our toe into talking about this a little bit on the take today.
Yeah.
But I'll start with UK. I feel like UK has the SEC thing going for it. They very much are the closest in comparison, I feel like, to IU. They are way more like IU than U of L is like IU, in the sense that they have
an awful football team.
Well, they're they're a state school, a doormat of a powerhouse conference.
That's true.
They also have an alumni base that is large and typically stays within the state. We talked about this on the take. IU has, they have the largest living. I just looked it up on a database. And
440,000 or something.
800 and something thousand living alumni. The largest in the country.
It's 440, but okay.
A lot of which...
Maybe it's 440 from Bloomington.
Yeah, maybe.
So,
but the majority of which stay in the state. Not saying the majority, but a good portion stay in the state, so their money goes to... They have kids that go to the school. Their money goes to the school.
There's a lot of agricultural money in Indiana, too.
Right. Whereas Purdue engineering school. They go all over the country. Suddenly, my kid's going to go to MIT, and I'm going to get money there. Like, or I'm just
because we made a smarter version of me.
Right, exactly. Right. Exactly. Louisville is closer to that Purdue model. Yep. It's a metropolitan university. It has pros going for it.
We have alumni everywhere.
But we have alumni everywhere. UK is a lot more similar to IU, I think, than U of L is.
It's
because
really
of
hard
that,
to move out of the holler with a communications degree.
Well, it's hard to move out of Louisville with a communications degree too. Trust me. I can second that. But I'm just saying, like, the comparisons are much closer in terms of school, and also the SEC bias. I think it was, if IU was in the Big 12 or was in the ACC, I don't know if they'd be embraced as well. I'm not saying that they necessarily were embraced, but to their credit, they were so good. They're like, you can't ignore us.
Right.
Like,
well, I mean, also the last three national champions came from the league that they are in. Right, with them being the third, but came their Big Ten teams.
Right, and so they played them, they beat them, and yeah, exactly. Like, but if IU was somehow in the ACC, I don't know if they would be as embraced as they were. Like, so I feel like
I can live with that.
UK has that going for it. Now, now they have a young coach. I don't know. We'll see what Will Stein can do.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not saying that
I have a lot of respect for him and his, like, what he does on offense. So.
I'm not saying that he's the second coming of Curt Cignetti. The statistics, like we said,
Curt paid dues in the head coaching world.
No, Curt was a late bloomer. Like,
well, I don't even know if he was a late bloomer. He just paid his dues the right way.
Right.
So his development, Kentucky's going to have to watch. We're watching this with Mark Pope. We're watching this with Pat Kelsey, where you're watching some of the growing pains. Kelsey's getting growing pains from the fact that he's never competed at this level. Pope's getting growing pains from the fact that he doesn't have a long coaching resume. Stein is going to be a first-time Power 4 head coach.
Right.
That's not easy.
No. I'm not saying that I think UK is, if there's this paradigm shift.
Big Blue Nicky.
Yeah, no, I'm not being BBN Nicky. I'm not saying that they will do it first. According to ChatGPT, Louisville does it first.
Right.
But I'm just saying.
I still think it's us.
I'm just saying those are the reasons that I think UK could do it. Now, the reason I think U of L will do it first, and if they could do it, is because of the coaching aspect. The fact that while it does play against you that you're not in a conference that is perceived the same as the SEC or Big Ten, at the same time you could use that to your advantage. You win and you're in.
Right.
Like, they can...
I think we are...
Typically.
I think next year we're the second ACC team.
I don't hate that prediction.
I think next year... I'm gonna stick with it. It's recorded. It's put on the interwebs.
There you go.
It's gonna live forever in infamy. I think we're the second team in next year.
Okay.
And I think that started with Miami being in the championship game, us getting ranked in the way too early, and we will see what happens when we go into the first poll, like the first
college football playoff poll, CFP poll, or the first AP poll, like poll, after week one,
like that. No, even the preseason one.
Oh, okay.
The preseason one.
So, like, if this holds true, all
we have to do is smack Ole Miss in the mouth.
Well, you know, and we'll see. I'm
not saying that's easy. I'm saying that if we go and smack Ole Miss in the mouth, if that's what we do, and our schedule is manageable. We're going to play some tough games. We got SMU again, I believe. But we're going to play some, maybe Virginia Tech. And Virginia Tech with James Franklin seems like it might be a real problem, especially during the season.
And they've also made it known that they're making a concerted effort for NIL and everything like that. So
another tricky school where a lot of people became high-paying jobs potentially that might give back. So we'll see.
I think Louisville can get it done in the sense that they could be a Miami, where they might not have this is where it's tricky, because Andy brought this up. If the records were completely reversed and U of L was sitting at the same spot that Miami was, would they have gotten in the college football playoff with Louisville as their name and not Miami? And I don't think they would have. I don't think they would have.
So are we talking about we played their schedule with their record?
Yeah,
we get it.
I don't know. I think
we're sitting there with Notre Dame and we're going to jump Notre Dame because of the same rule they used for Miami.
But
I'm going to stick with that.
The name recognition, though, I don't know. I don't know because okay.
They let in JMU and Tulane, which I believe we're probably, I don't remember what the deadline is, but it's pretty soon on any changes they're going to do to the college football playoffs. I bet we're about to see one that limits some of that.
Yeah, right. I just want the group of 5 schools to get a cookie. I don't know if they need to. Like, I was really kind of hoping.
I do believe that there is the change of conference champion next year.
Okay.
Or of Power 4 conference champion next year. I think that was already put in there because I think they I got to look that up. I don't know.
Well, isn't Notre Dame pushing, or they have already pushed that thing where
as long as they're in the top 12.
12, they're in, right? Yeah, like which is classic.
Which will keep one of those group of 5 people out even.
Yeah, right. So I mean, as long as they're decent, like they'll be in and they'll take a spot. So which is such
and they will be.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, well, the preseason, they're a top 5 team.
Yep.
Louisville is hovering around anywhere I saw between 14 and 20 throughout all and they were all
big ones are 14 and 16.
Yeah,
CBS and ESPN.
And they were off a couple. On 3, I don't think had them, and I don't think
all 3.
Right. It was so weird because I was like, hey, On 3 doesn't hit Louisville anymore. They have them as the 4th best transfer portal class, and they're not in the preseason top 25. And we're back. But Sports Illustrated didn't either. I believe those were the 2 that left Louisville off the preseason top 25 lists. But everywhere else, I think Yahoo had them 19, Athlon 20. ESPN has them, I think, the highest at 14. But we'll just say a composite 16.
Yep.
A top 16 team. So it'll be interesting to see. But I do think that if Louisville can win and get to the conference championship, punch their ticket, get in, by and large, even with a James Franklin coming in, even with the success Miami had,
right.
By and large, I don't think anyone's going to argue. Even the most vehement ACC banner waivers aren't going to say that the path is. I mean, have you seen UK's schedule next year?
Oh no, that's
dear God in heaven.
They're getting murdered.
I mean, it would be.
And there's my UK can't do it.
Right.
And it's not just next year's schedule. It's the fact that when they split them up and they're now no longer East and West, they're never going to escape a murderer's row. It's not going to happen.
No, I do think. I mean, I'm not saying it'll never happen, but
do you know how much NIL they'd have to overcome to do such?
True.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
To be able to beat out Texas with their NIL money, to be able to beat out A&M with their NIL money, to be able to beat out Georgia, Florida. I mean, Vanderbilt now.
Yeah.
Like, listen. The year that they could have caught South Carolina, Vandy, Missouri, right?
Yeah.
Those aren't going to be easy years.
No.
Not anymore.
No, but the only thing I could think is that they have a large alumni base. Maybe they get their NIL up, and maybe if Stein is closer to a Cignetti than a Billy Knapp's.
I also believe that Stein's not a fixture at UK.
Oh, you think that maybe it could be a stepping stone
job? It can be a dream job, and you can live your dream and realize that you have another one. He's not necessarily from Lexington. He didn't go there.
That's an interesting take. I didn't even think about that.
I mean, he grew up liking it, but that doesn't mean he's there forever. There's a lot more Jeff Brom in Louisville than there is Will Stein in Kentucky.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not saying he won't stay there forever, and that they won't treat him good, and they won't find a way to keep him, and that he won't be good. Like, I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is, of the 2, he's more likely to get swayed away by a Ohio State, a Penn State.
Also, NFL.
NFL is another. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think Jeff would leave for the NFL.
I think he would too. After he's had some success.
It's you cannot not do that job.
Here's a question I want to ask.
If you're competitive in the way that they are, you cannot not do that job. It's a lot of knowledge.
I never thought about that. Yeah, there was a lot of that. I never thought of Will Stein as potentially a climber. That it wouldn't be a destination job for him either. That's an interesting take. Here's a question for you. Is the standard next year, and I don't know how much of this is a Cignetti effect or what, but is the standard next year a college football playoff appearance for U of L?
I don't like the word standard.
Okay, expectation.
I think the conversation should exist for the entire season that we're a potential playoff team.
Now,
we won't give them the opportunity to talk us out of it.
Like we did this year.
Correct.
Okay.
We can't have a Cal. We can't have a Clemson.
You
can lose to SMU. You can't lose that way.
No,
you can lose to SMU.
I even said today, I was like, you know what? Drew said it in the morning.
You can lose to Virginia. You can lose to Virginia in the same way that we lost to Virginia.
I don't know about that, because if they lose the same way that they lost to Virginia, then that's indicative that the quarterback maybe isn't up to stuff.
No, I'm talking. We lost to Virginia because we didn't run the ball.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, all right. I see what you're getting at there. Drew said it was like, hey, I think the expectation next year needs to be a college football playoff.
Oof.
And I begrudgingly was kind of like, yeah. And I mean, I don't want to be one of those irrational fans where I just poo-poo on a 9-3 season and 8-4 season. But given the talent that they retained, given it's year 4 under Brom,
10 or more wins, college football, legit conversation where there has to be where even we live in a place where there's some controversy on why we're not there.
Yeah.
Be Notre Dame next year.
Right.
Be Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think, and look, Louisville fans, and I'm one of them, we love to shake our fist at the clouds and say that the things things are against us and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I just
we're somebody who's been abused for the majority of our life.
Yeah, well,
I don't know why.
Unfortunately. But I just
because it's not been bad.
I brought up the fact, like, okay, if the standard next year is a college football playoff appearance, or at least being in the discussion for it, like make them not put you in and feel like you got legitimately shafted, not like you're grasping at straws and saying, well, we were 14th, but you had a terrible blah blah blah. Right. Like a lot of the talking heads are even going, hey, Louisville deserved to be in. Heather Dinich is rallying for you on the college football playoff ranking show, something like that. Obviously, things can happen.
Correct.
Crazy, rampant injuries, okay. And I don't even want to put that energy out there, but...
Yeah, you keep Isaac Brown healthy.
Yeah, right, knock wood. But, like, you also... I brought this up on the take today. What are the things that you feel like could be the pivots? Like, I don't want to hear that the quarterback, it's not a Jeff Brown quarterback. It's not his guy.
There are no pivots for this year.
That there's no... Well, okay, then we're saying that today, on the 21st of January at 8:17, you and I are saying that there's...
The 22nd?
Wait,
that was 21st.
21st. Okay, I got it right. Okay. Like, we're saying that, no, there's nothing right now. And, of course, things can change. Right. Crazy stuff can happen. But... And we're not going to be unreasonable towards that. But, man, we really think next year, even though they don't have a defensive coordinator yet.
I think they do.
Even though, well, it hasn't been announced yet.
Right.
Even though the quarterback has only played about 50 snaps, we feel like next year a fair expectation is to be in that college football playoff discussion.
Yes.
Next year.
Notre Dame. We need to be...
At least Notre Dame. If not
Notre Dame.
in, we have to be at least Notre Dame,
Yes.
where people are defending that we got shafted and we deserve to be in. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to then be like, yeah, but when the season actually happens.
I won't.
So you're in agreement with me. You're in agreement with Diener that hey, we can make the college football playoff next year.
My expectation, I will stay with it the whole time, and I will not give an excuse around it, is that we should be Notre Dame next year. Maybe Notre Dame, BYU. We'll toss that in there.
Okay.
Notre Dame, BYU.
But that's not in the playoff.
No, but it's literally the closest we've ever been in any possible way. And it's so close that we know we're getting in because they're not staying at 12. I don't know that if they go to 16, I think we should. I think I will adjust if we go to 16. If we go to 24, I'll adjust a lot.
Right.
In that thought pattern. But as of right now with 12, that's where I'm sticking at. They're not going to stay at 12 they're not staying at 12.
No, because the SEC and Big Ten want to get more teams in.
There's
too much money, yeah,
to be made off of this to not go up in teams.
I don't want them to expand it much more.
Have you ever watched the FCS?
That's what, 16?
No, it's 24.
It is 24? It's that many?
It is awesome.
I don't know. That's a lot of games.
It is awesome.
Well, I mean, I've heard it's great, but I was for expansion.
Right.
But at the same time,
I'm more for 24 than I am for 16.
Really?
Absolutely.
I'm okay with it being 12.
If it's 12, we keep conference championship games. I don't know that anybody gives a shit about them anymore.
Well,
did the ACC conference champion play in the playoffs?
No, but
all right then.
Yeah. No, I know.
Okay. Then what? Then who cares?
Well,
who cares?
Well, if you go to 24, then there's no reason to have a conference championship game.
That's
right?
the whole point. Well, I think now conferences won't love that, but you could have the ability for some of them to host some things in the way that they used to, right? Mm. The ACC champion is playing so-and-so, and the ACC gets the ability to host it in Charlotte.
Right.
Which is I realize there are people that like Charlotte. There are 6 blocks of Charlotte that aren't the west end of Louisville. Fuck off.
I'm looking at this thing up here. We only have 3% battery left, so we probably need to wrap up a little bit here.
We've been going for a minute.
No, yeah, we've been going for a minute. So like, share, and subscribe. ESPN Louisville Plus.
Absolutely, you can become a member, and you'll get all of the information. You'll get specific treatment on like different comment stuff and all that other stuff. Justin Sofero does a really good job of describing it on his After Dark, which he nails every Sunday. So that would be one thing that we're really building here.
It is.
Is some of the stuff that Justin's trying to do, and he's really got a great plan for what this platform is and what we're doing. So,
and we appreciate you guys having patience with us. You know, starting a little late, sporadic days. I wasn't able to go yesterday. I was bowling. Tulio couldn't make it. He couldn't make it again tonight. But yeah, so we just appreciate you guys. And like, share, and subscribe, and keep an eye on ESPN 680 at ESPN 680 on Twitter to be notified for what shows we have going on. And we just appreciate you guys being a part of this. And we are coming to you live from 7.
Listen daily.
Yes.
To ESPN 680 and 93.9.
Yes.
Go to the podcast center. Absolutely be a fan of this. Find us on Twitter. Find us on Facebook. I actually still have a Facebook account. I repost these things.
Nice.
Literally, it's for my family.
There you go. It's
for my family.
I wanted to get into basketball, but we are going to run out of battery. So it might be best to holler at Sofro and tell him to wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah.
Because we are about to. Okay. We are about to.
We're trending towards. But we've gone